We are now streaming on a bunch of different services. Karen, do we have the right descriptions up there though? Because I didn't do any descriptions.
Okay, I'm not seeing them quite yet. So I'm on, may look at the Facebook. It's not up on YouTube quite yet. It's probably still loading.
Yeah, you might have to go back and change the descriptions later.
Okay.
We're going to begin in just one moment, though. At that point, I'm going to mute everybody. Let me just make Bridget a co-host because we'll be calling on her and her family in a few minutes.
You do.
Rich, I'm going to take your last name off.
See, Sam and I are both in my sukkah.
Hope you're not getting eaten by the mosquitoes.
But we are. Lots of bug
Oh.
spray, though. A lot of bug spray.
Citronella candles work.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Karen, can we begin?
It's so weird. I mean, I see it on the screen, but I don't see it on the on the. It's okay because I'll just, you can go because I'll just, as soon as it pulls up, I'll click it to our website.
Great. I'm going to mute everybody right now then. Mute all.
Oh, no, I have it. Yeah, it has the wrong, it just has the wrong
Description.
description.
We got to work on that trick. Testing. Let's get to my image now. I should be the only one talking. Hello? Why is it not coming to me? Why is it stuck on camera? Okay, Karen, you're doing something that makes it want to go to your screen. Can you turn off your video for a second? Still going back to you. All right. Well, I'm going to have to do a lot of spotlighting tonight. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well on this hot day. You're actually in my sukkah in my backyard, and joining me is, well, Sam, our religious school director, and he's busy right now. He's working on his, what are you working on, Sam?
My lulav says.
He's putting together his lulav and etrog, and when he's talking, I'll be putting mine together, because a little bit later we'll all join together, and as the representatives of the congregation will wave the lulav and etrog. We wanted everyone to at least have that experience visually if you can't have it in reality. So it's a Jewish tradition to invite people into your sukkah. You want to leave it like this for a while. It's a tradition to let people into your sukkah, to share this event with them. And there's a term we have called ushpizin. Ushpizin means honored guest. And by Jewish tradition, these honored guests are those of our ancestors, our Avot V'Imahot, and some others. But it's also become a tradition for people to think of those they'd like to invite, people who couldn't possibly get to your sukkah. Maybe they live far away. Maybe they live down the street, but because of the virus, you're not going to let them in. As you've noticed, Sam and I have about 6 feet between the two of us. Or maybe it's some historical figure you always wanted to meet. So I wanted to take a moment and have everyone who is joining us tonight to write in the chat window, all right, to write in our chat window, someone they'd like to invite into their sukkah, or at least into our communal sukkah, which is my sukkah tonight. So take a moment, write down a name or two, and then I'm going to do a blessing, welcoming everybody, all these guests into the sukkah. So take a moment. Who would you like to invite in? Is it Abraham Lincoln? Is it George McGovern? Who are you thinking of right now that you'd like to have in your sukkah as part of the Ushpizin, the honored guests? And in many traditions, there are actually extra chairs set up for these honored guests. And there's also another tradition is you give them food, but you give them food that you later donate to the poor. So that's my way of reminding you as names are going into the screen to bring food on Sunday. If you're dropping off your books, please also bring some food. So let's look at some of these names. People would like to invite in RBG, a blessed memory, grandparents, a blessed memory, Golda Meir, my cousin Debbie and her family from Teaneck, New Jersey, from Sarah, Saray and Herb, my mother, father, brother, and 2 sons, as well as RBG, my father and grandparents, Charlie, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, my immediate family that is far away. That is the toughest thing right now. My mom and dad, sorry, my screen's jumping a little bit, our friends, Greg and Peggy from Kirkland, Washington, my grandparents, my mom, our good friends that moved to Washington, my family. So there are a lot of people we'd like to invite in. I know at this moment I would like to see my daughters. I'd love to have them come, but just popping in for Sukkot is a near impossible feat. And I see Julian, miss my boy. So let me do a blessing. I gotta look down a piece of paper for this. Adonai, our God and God of our mothers and fathers, be present here among us. Spread over us the shelter of your peace and surround us with your radiance, your pure and holy glory. Let there be food and drink for all who are hungry and thirsty. Blessed be Adonai forever. To this meal we summon the following guests: Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Joseph, Moses, Aaron and David, Sarah and Rebecca, Rachel and Leah, Miriam, Hannah and Deborah, and all those people we just named. Because there's so many people we'd like to be close to right now. And if we can't be close to them, we should at least remember them. And so together we say, Amen. And now we turn, I don't have a page number, but now we're going to be singing Shalom Aleichem. And if we get the page number, we'll put it into the chat window.
It's page 142. Lie, 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 la, lie, la, 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 lie, la, lie, la, 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 lie, la, lie, la, 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 lie, la, 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 lie, la, lie, la, 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 lie, la, lie, la, 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 lie, la, lie, la, 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 lie. Shalom Aleichem, מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, בואכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. לי, 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 ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. לי, 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 לי,
Our tradition teaches us that Sukkot is a holiday of joy. And it makes complete sense. We've gone through our 10 days of reflection, our 10 days of awe, our 10 days of thinking about how to better ourselves. After all that reflection, we need some joy. We just need to have fun. So what do? We hang out outside. So when you're outside, you're part of nature. You're enjoying all those things that surround you. I talked about awe on Yom Kippur morning. There's so many things to be in awe of when you're sitting outside. And so we start to feel joy. We start to feel the joy of, the joy of this world. And even during these difficult times, there is joy. There is happiness. There's that fun of being together. I look at Shai and Noah and I see a couple who is enjoying making music together. And it is beautiful. And I think about all the wonderful things I see on my screen in front of me. So part of the joy is to have some fun. And I'm going to do a shout out to Rabbi Becky because She brought the Dr. Seuss rules of the sukkah to us a few years ago, and it wouldn't be appropriate to give her a shout out before I shared these Dr. Seuss rules. So here we go. Dr. Seuss explains the rules of the sukkah. You can build it very small. You can build it very tall. You can build it very large. You can build it on a barge. You can build it on a ship or on a roof, but please don't slip. You can build it in an alley. You shouldn't build it in a valley. You can build it on a wagon. You can build it on a dragon. From the sukkah you can roam, but you should treat it as your home. You can invite some special guests. Don't stay in there if there are pests. You can sleep upon some rugs. Don't you build it where there are bugs. If in the sukkah it should rain, to stay there would be such a pain. And if it should be very cold, stay there only if you're bold. So build a sukkah one and all. Make it large or make it small. Sukkah rules are short and snappy. Enjoy Sukkot. Rejoice and be happy. So let us be happy during Sukkot. No matter how many challenges we have right now, being happy, maybe we can just focus on that for the next 7 days of Sukkot. So we turn to page 138 for Lachado D. This is a song that should bring us joy because the Sabbath bride is entering our lives. Cantor, Shai, please. Oh, we'll be doing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, standing on the last verse.
דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ותפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה 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 לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקורה ברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה 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 התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה 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 please rise and face the door to welcome Shabbat. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני ים סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני פני שבת נקבל, לה 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 לה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני פני שבת נקבל, לה לה לה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני פני שבת נקבל. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה.
It's now my honor. It is now my honor. There we go. It is now my honor to introduce Bridget and her family, Sam and Charles and Lua. Bridget, everyone's heard about, but I'm not sure everyone knows who Bridget is. She was the producer, director of our High Holy Days, the behind-the-scenes person who kept us moving forward over and over again through so many challenges. And we wanted her to light our Shabbat candles tonight, her and her family. So we welcome all of them. I believe Sam is going to spotlight their video right now. And if they can unmute themselves, they can say hi or Shabbat Shalom or whatever they'd like to do.
Hi. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We got these candlesticks. These are from Israel. So we're going to light the Shabbat candles. And Lua's going to do the lighting.
Don't burn your fingers off. Up again. Don't light it near me.
It's okay.
Why does it smell so weird? Why does it burn so fast?
La 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר וציוונו להדליק נר וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת ויום טוב.
And now, because it is a Yom Tov, because we are starting a holiday, it's important for us to say a Shachianu. We say the Shachianu at new beginnings, at new starts, at moments we want to be repeated. And we want to come back every year to this holiday, to this moment. And we want to be able to say, we have gathered together as a community to be joyful, to be happy. And hopefully next year we can do that in person. Cantor, Shachianu, please.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Oop, will that go? I think if you mute your computer and yeah, okay. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So, as you can see, I was wonderfully invited to Rabbi Jon's home to participate in the Sukkot service. And that's what Sukkot is all about, is bringing everyone together. And if we think about the historical context and how this festival was celebrated by our ancients, they came en masse to Jerusalem to celebrate this holiday together, a big pilgrimage. And so just like them, we reflect on this holy city at this time. I invite you to please rise and face eastward towards Jerusalem for the call to worship, the Baruch Hu, on page 146.
Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך, המבורך לעולם המבורך לעולם ועד.
I invite you to please remain standing for the Shema. And Sukkot brings us outside. And being outside gives us the chance to focus on the concept of oneness. We get to actually see the world and see how we're connected to it. So we cover our eyes and embrace that oneness with the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Shem Kevod Malachuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We'll continue with the Via Hafta on page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
So you don't have to be an ancient Israelite to witness the wonders of nature, even something as miraculous as the crossing of the sea. All you need to do is get outside, direct your heart towards God, and open up your eyes and see the wonders of nature all around us. Let's sing the Micha Mocha together on page 158.
כמוך נדע בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים. ידה די 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 ידה די 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 ידה די 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 ידה די 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 ידה די 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 ידה די 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 ידה די די זה יהיה לי אנו ויאמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם לעולם ואין. ידה די 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 ידה די די.
So my understanding is, Cantor Noa, you have a special song for us in the celebration of Sukkot.
We do. We have a beautiful song by Rick Recht, and it also has the words that are found in the Hashkivenu. So this is a little bit of a Hashkivenu and a little bit of Sukkot.
Just a little bit. ופוס עלינו סוכת שלום, סוכת חופש לאהוב וללמוד, סוכת חופש לאהוב וללמוד. Let's just start over. Here he goes. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלום, סוכת חופש לאהוב וללמוד, סוכת נפש, להקשיב ולשיר. סוכה לחבר את העבר והעתיד. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלום.
Spread over us a shelter of peace, a shelter of freedom to love and to learn, a shelter of spirit to listen and to sing, a shelter to honor where we've been, where we will be. Ufos aleinu sukat shalom. Sukat shalom. Sukat shalom. Sukat shalom. Sukat shalom. Ufos aleinu sukat shalom.
Thank you, Shai and Cantor Noa. It was a beautiful melody for a beautiful message of Sukkot Shalom that we all need to think about how on Sukkot we're supposed to go outside to remember how much is outside of our control. But yet we do have certain things in our control. We can intervene and ask God for a Sukkot Shalom, a sukkah, a shelter of peace. And we can also intervene and ask for healing. And so now I'd like to transition to our Misha Berach prayer, prayer for healing, because so many of those in our community and around the world do need healing and they need our prayers. So I'm going to read the list of names that I have available to me. And I encourage you to please add names of those you are thinking of in the chat. Luis Adhami, Jacob Alone, Sarah Alone, Patty Ablas, Michelle Batchley, Frank Bells, Judith Bernstein, Phyllis Boris, Nancy Braun, Bella Kane, Sagi Jacob Cohen, Jackson Dexter, Phyllis Doloroff, Marissa Dupuy, Cindy Emanuel, Susan Fosnot, Peter Friedman, Rosa Gershfeld, Liz Graydon, Frank Grillo, Dorothy Heimbaugh, Doris Heller, Gary Heller, Peggy Holm, Berta Joyce, Madeline Kinyar, Denisa Kleiner, Jose Kramer, Stan Lieber, Georgia Levenberg, Claire Levin, Joe Luttrell, Ruben and Maheen Manavi, Joanne Marquez, Jeff McCoy, Irene Montella, Tanya Nader, Katya Nepome, Sylvia Nemiroff, Joe Norton, Dave Oren, Leonard Pasternak, Nikki Pasternak, Yolanda Piscola, Dave Plageman, Maddie Press, Steve Rifkin, Rabbi Stephen Robbins, Bernard Buddy Roche, Brendy Rosenblum, Jason Round, Jerry Shapiro, Walter Scher, Gail Silva, Nancy Schlossberg, Lori Spiro, Eileen Stern, Shirley Strauss, Andrea Domi Vargas, Renee Weiss, Sandy Williams. We'd also like to add everyone that is battling COVID-19, including our President Donald Trump and the First Lady Melania Trump. And I would also like to add those names that are in our chat currently. Ed Wire, thank you for mentioning the President and First Lady. Silva Cohen, Dana and Kevin Kogan, Ted Korshak, in our country. I asked if you have any other names to please share them now, and we can be aware of them in our community, or to just say those names to yourself and keep them in your heart as we think about a full healing, a refuah shlema in every sense of the word, as we sing the Misha Berach on page 371.
מי שברך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. מי שברך אמותינו מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
Amen. As Rabbi Jon mentioned at the beginning of this service, it's very difficult to welcome guests into our sukkahs, our sukkot right now. And this is why it's so miraculous to see how Jewish tradition can meet our times. And when we think about ushpizin and welcoming guests, as Rabbi Jon mentioned, we have a chance to welcome in spiritual guests, if you will. And what's really cool is I didn't know Rabbi Jon was going to talk about this, let alone have a sukkah with these incredible banners of these ushpizin, these spiritual guests, surrounding the walls of his sukkah. And so what I'd like to encourage you is, in lieu of welcoming friends as guests during the Sukkot, to welcome in our ancestors, Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, and all the other characters of our Tanakh, our Bible, and get to know them this week, read about them, learn their stories. And we reflect on them right now in the Amidah. We're going to turn to a festival Amidah, which is going to be found on page 468. I invite you to please rise if you are able and join us in this festive Amidah.
Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר יחסי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מחלקל לחיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעלוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue with silent prayer. Please be seated when your prayer is complete.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני צורי וגואלי
רצון עם רפי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני צורי וגואלי. Meditations of my heart be acceptable, if only unto you, oh God, my rock, creator of my soul. Redeemer, Adonai, my Redeemer.
Yashikov, that was quite beautiful. Thank you, Shai, and thank you, Cantor. That was really, truly beautiful. All the music tonight. So tonight I have a story. We took some energy and we invited the religious school families, but I think they might have had a little too much religion over the high holy days. But I planned a story nonetheless. I didn't really concern myself with how many people would be under the age of 15 or 16. So I'd like to tell a story. And the story takes place a long time ago in a land far, far, far away. Actually, it takes place in Jerusalem. And it was a long, hot summer. It was one of those 104-degree days like we have in Tarzana and in Woodland Hills. And crops were withering. They were about to die. And the townspeople cried out to God. Well, what do you think they cried out? If they need rain, they cried out, give us some rain. They didn't have a hose and a sprinkler like I have in my backyard. But no matter how much they cried out to God, guess what? No rain came. And so they went to the synagogue and they prayed and they prayed and they prayed, thinking the longer they prayed, the more people that prayed, the harder they prayed, rain would come. But it didn't work. And as the crops got thirstier and thirstier, so did the people. So no one knew what to do. So they started to come up with different ideas. It felt a bit like Helm, some of these ideas they came up with. So one person went outside and they sang a song to the sky. They sang, please, please, please give me some rain, in a very beautiful melodic voice that doesn't resemble mine. But there was no rain. They asked everyone to join in. They built a screen like this and they put the choir all around them like we did for High Holy Days. And they sang for rain in a beautiful 7-part choral arrangement overseen by Cantor and by Shai, and still no rain. And so then one person came along and said, let's dance. Don't the Native Americans, don't they dance for rain? Well, let's do a rain dance. And so they danced and they danced, did a little this, a little that, and guess what? Still no rain. One person baked a cake and said, I'm the greatest baker in town. And they took that cake and they threw it up in the sky. And if you've heard this story in the past, you know what happened. That cake smacked that baker right in the face. And then another person, an archer, shot a bow and arrow into the sky and went straight through a cloud. And he takes his string that was attached to the end of that arrow and he pulls and pulls and pulls, thinking he's pulling a cloud towards them. But nothing but a broken arrow was returned. They tried fasting. They went back to the idea of Yom Kippur fast. They said, let's fast. And guess what? That didn't even work. So the scholars, they debated, what shall we do? And they pulled out the Talmud and the Mishnah and all the great Jewish texts. And no one could determine what the solution could be. Prayers, song, dance, cake, arrows, fasting, nothing worked. The little boy came along while they're all inside the sanctuary arguing. And he starts waving his lulav. And they all run outside because they think it's the sound of rain. So they run outside. And they just see it's a silly little boy waving a silly palm frond. And they say, silly little boy, leave us alone. We're trying to do some real work here. Stop distracting us. And so they went back inside the synagogue and their arguing got louder and louder and louder till they couldn't hear anything outside. The little boy, he kept doing this. And suddenly clouds from off in the distance, they said to themselves and to one another, is that the sound of our souls? Is it the sound of our heartbeat? Because, of course, rain is the sound of a cloud soul. And they started to gather, and they realized it was just one little boy doing this. But they gathered, and they looked down upon him, and the cloud said, hey, little boy, Why are you doing that? And the little boy said, we need some rain. Our crops are drying out. Our fields are dry. We're all thirsty. Give us some rain. And the clouds, well, they joined in. And they started to rain. They started to share parts of their souls with everyone. And then all of a sudden, the sound of rain was everywhere and on the rooftop of the synagogue. And everyone ran out and they realized that this little boy had helped gather the clouds. And so they danced and they sang and they baked and they shot arrows as that rain was coming down, all because their hearts were filled with joy. Sukkot, so much of it is about rain. We have this holiday right before the rainy season in Israel, and Israel needs rain just like Tarzana and Woodland Hills and Northern California and so many other places. We need it for our crops. We need it to put out fires. We need it to protect our forests. So this time of year, during the driest part of the year, right before the rains are to come, we celebrate this holiday and we say, we need some good rain. We don't want mudslides occurring. We don't want heavy rain. We want just the right amount. The amount that would come, well, the amount that would sound similar to a shaking lulav. So my blessing for each and every one of you tonight. May you always remember to celebrate the joy of Sukkot. May you always remember to invite in ushpizin, special guests, into your lives, whether you can be physically present with them or not. And may you always remember to be one with nature, accepting the sunshine as well as the beautiful rains. And together we say, Amen. And now Sam and I are going to say the blessing over the lulav wave. And then afterwards, Cantor is going to do the lulav song. It's made for little kids, but I think everyone's going to enjoy it. So Sam and I are going to stand up right now and use our second camera that I've set up here. And we're going to put our lulavs in our right hand. We're going to put our etrog in our left with the stem facing up. And we're going to say the blessing. And it goes, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat lulav.
Amen.
And then we turn our etrog so it faces in the direction of its growth. And we shake 3 times forward, 3 times to our right, 3 times behind us, 3 times to the left, 3 times raising our hands up into the sky, which is tough to do in a sukkah, 3 times dropping. And then we sniff the etrog. And what we're saying is, God, we want rain here and behind us and over there in all directions for all people. We want that sweet rainfall. Then, of course, the smell of the citron reminds us of what comes from the proper rainfall. Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to turn it back to Cantor as she sings to us a very fun little song about waving lulavs and etrogs. Cantor.
Sukkot is a harvest holiday. The celebration lasts for 7 days. We build a sukkah, then we decorate a special booth in which we congregate. Do the lulav shake, 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 shake. Do the lulav shake, 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 shake. Do the lulav shake, 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 shake. Do the lulav shake. The symbols of Sukkot are quite unique. They show God's presence the entire week. The etrog smells get into the air. We wave the lulav everywhere. Do the lulav shake. You can shake with me. Shake, shake, shake. Do the lulav shake. Shake, shake, shake. Do the lulav shake. Shake, shake, shake. Do the lulav shake. Hadass and Arava on either side, surrounding the lulav that we wave with pride. The north, the south, the west, and to the east. We celebrate and then we feast, of course. And the lulav shake, 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 shake. Do the lulav shake, 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 shake. Do Do the lulav shake, 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 shake. Do the lulav shake.
And now it's my honor to ask Rob Moline to deliver some announcements. Rob, please. I think someone's going to have to unmute him, though. So we're going to find Rob right now. There he is. I got him. It's on my video. And
Excellent. Thank you, Rabbi, for unmuting me. And Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Do want to thank Rabbi Jon, Cantor Noa, and Shai, Sam Klein, our religious school director, for a wonderful service tonight. Thank you so much. Please join us for any and all of our Sukkot celebrations starting tomorrow night via the Zoom. All information is on our website under the Events and Calendar tab. This Sunday, October the 4th, we ask that you please bring your prayer books back to the temple. We'll be collecting them in the lower parking lot. And we're also collecting our food for the West Valley food pantry. So please bring your shelf stable items then, and a list of the most needed items, if you've not purchased them already, has been emailed or can be found on our website under the Events tab. And this is a drive-through event, so you won't even have to get out of your cars at all. On social justice, we have pledged that our congregation will be a 100% voting congregation. Please go to our website, koltikva.org/events/vote, and register your pledge to vote this year. Also, it's been emphasized, have a game plan on your voting. Just in case you don't get your ballot, it doesn't arrive on time, know your options. Vote, please, vote early, and remind your friends to vote early as well. This Tuesday, October the 6th at 7:00 p.m., RAC, California is having a forum on Proposition 15. This is the proposition for providing funds for our schools and local services. You can sign up at RAC, that's rac.org/CA forum, and look for the Jewish perspectives on this issue to inform your vote. Want to extend thank yous to Maxine and Peter Strauss for sponsoring our Sukkot this year. And as we look forward to next week, please join us for Simchas Torah. We'd like to thank Joe and Ira Konofsky also for their sponsorship. Thank you very much. A piece of housekeeping, we have to do this periodically. We will be clearing our Mishuberach list out before next week's service. If you have someone that is sick, ailing, that you would like to keep on the list, simple, just contact by email or call the office, and we'll be more than happy to include them in the list. After our service tonight, we'll have a virtual Own It. Stick around for that. And then lastly, join us for next week's service on Zoom at 6:30. Please use the same Zoom link as you have for tonight. Shabbat Shalom, one and all. Also a shout out to Bridget for making our High Holy Day services so wonderful.
And now we turn to page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish. We say the Mourner's Kaddish for those who have passed, for those we remember with full heart, for those we loved but can no longer well hold their hand or be present with them. I'm going to spotlight my video. There we go. So we turn to page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish, and we think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. On our recently departed list, Jean Stamen, remembered by Florence and Irwin Ames. Charlene Sperber, remembered by Lori, Ken, Sarah, and Samantha Spiro. And Helene Heller. We remember Sandra Kazin, who is remembered by Amy, Victor, Tyler, and Carter Noble. And we remember Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who is remembered by all those who seek justice in its truest form. The following died during this season in years past. Dr. Marvin Adelberg, Alfred Billy Cole, Harriet Coleman, Virginia Cook, Phil Davis, Renee Edelman, Bessie Feynman, Rose Forer, Arthur Garson, Jeanette Glick, Jerry Goldsmith, Herbert Halpert, Louis Hartman, Dwayne Irwin, Terry Jaffe, Richard Callett, Walter L. Klein, Harry T. Kruss, Sidney Lazarus, Norman Levine, Norma Miller, Julius Oberman, Jerry Otchis, Sophie Phillip, Charlene U. Richstone, Harry Robinson, Earl Sheffer, Ferenc Simon, Charles Temkin, Clara Pat Wieslow, Mildred Wolf, and Kizgul Yelizarov. If you have an additional name for our Kaddish Yortzeit list, please put it in the chat window. Darren Frank, Dr. Milton B. Frankel. Any more additional names? Judy Horst. If you're currently in a state of mourning, I'd like you to please rise. If you're in Shiva, Shloshim, or the first year. If you're observing a Yortzeit, I'd like you to please rise. And now I'd like the community to please rise. We are on page 598. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. V'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha b'rechu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Damiran b'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shmaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
May the one who makes peace on high grant peace to all who mourn, to all Israel, and to all humankind. And together we say, Amen. And now Cantor's going to lead us in the closing song.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום. שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום. שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום. שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום. שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום. שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום.
And now, right
Rabbi
now,
Jon,
we're going to do
there
our
we go.
Kiddush. I've already introduced the whole thing, but I'll do it all over again now that my mic is open. Well, let's all raise our Kiddush cups because it's time to do the Kiddush. Here we go, Cantor.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן לחיים.
And now it's time for some challah. Look at this one. Is this not beautiful? Can't wait. All right, Cantor, go for it.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ בתיאבון. שבת שלום everybody and חג שמח.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm going to mute everyone right now. We hope to see everyone at our Havdalah tomorrow night. We have trivia night on Sunday night. We have events on Tuesday, and then Thursday night, I think it's a youth night, whatever. We got lots going on for Sukkot. So please join us either online or in person if you want to be one of the small group crowds. All right, I'm unmuting everyone right now. At work.
Yes.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.